There is a study that was done a while back. And what they did was they put the participants who had agreed to the research into a room on their own. And there was a buzzer. And they said, you're going to be alone in this room. We don't know how long. If you press that buzzer, it will give you an electric shock. We'll leave it to you what you're going to do. I can't remember the exact words of the research anyway. So the researcher leaves, shuts the door. Within 15 minutes, over 70% of participants in this research study had started pressing the button. And some of them, I can't remember the percentage, began pressing it a lot and were giving themselves, the more you held it down, the more it hurt, giving themselves quite a shock and caused themselves pain. So this research shows that for 70% plus of people would rather feel pain than to be with themselves and sit with themselves. And I find that incredibly disturbing. Adversity is inevitable. Moments of being alone is inevitable. How we handle it is our choice, whether we're aware of it or we're not. I seem to have been fortunate in that being alone and having lovely thoughts is something I've been able to cultivate. Before, years ago, 17 years ago, it was I'd be alone and I just have dark thoughts for days. Like I could go dark side. Man, I could Darth Vader my entire life with the gloomy music for weeks. For me, I began working in little chunks. So I started with, each time I began catastrophizing, imagining the worst of situations, or doom and glooming, or Darth Vadering, whatever I want to call it. The moment I caught myself, and I didn't always catch myself straight away, but the moment I did catch myself, I would have to interrupt myself. Hang on, you're doing Darth Vader. And when I say Darth Vader, I just mean going dark side. That's all I mean. Oh, yes, I did it again. And this is everything going on in my head, or sometimes out loud. Oh, I did it again. Stop that. But I want to doom and gloom, and this is something I really need to worry about. Yes, but if you keep worrying about it, you'll make yourself feel miserable and you're not changing anything. Yes, but worry is what I'm used to doing. And I'd have this argument with myself in my mind with the self that wanted to doom and gloom. This is literally, and it'd make myself laugh, but also realize the nature of how little control I was demonstrating on my mind. I literally put hours into these arguments until I persisted. And then it got to a point one day I caught myself, hey, you've gone dark side. You're right. That wasn't necessary. Okay, what shall I do instead? And I began replacing it with the next stage, which was replacing it with productive, useful, loving, insert whatever is going to be of value here, thoughts. And it was really tough in the beginning. So I had a book and it would be full of amazing ways of looking at the world. A lot of it was Buddhist. And I would write out a paragraph because I didn't know how to access kind language or compassionate language for myself, because I was so comfortable with, I could do hours and days on the dark side, but to come up with something beautiful to say, just beyond me. So I'd write it out. And every time I went dark side, if I remembered to catch myself, because I didn't always catch myself, I've done it. I've gone Darth Vader. Okay, what am I going to do? And I'd pull out my card and I'd read it to myself. And as I read it, I remember thinking, that's bullshit. That's not true. The world's not that good. This is way too optimistic. I don't believe it. You're doing it again. Okay. And then I'd try and read it again until I could eventually read a paragraph of something that was kind without arguing with it. And that took me weeks and weeks. But I'm not going to do it to the detriment of everything else I want to create in my life. So I'm being productive and I'm exercising and I'm producing material and I'm doing things like this because I don't need to be consumed with how am I filling my day, so I don't have to think, oh God, I better talk with someone. I'm able to be with me. So that's what I do. Now, of course, this video is not helpful at all if you've got kids at home with you right now. You don't have a single moment and you're hearing this video thinking, oh God, just having a moment with just me and my thoughts, that sounds amazing. Perhaps that needs to be another video.